showdown. OK저축은행 프리온 대 광동 프릭스.
Down there on the bottom side. So
this feels very experimental for KT. Like once the Poppy came through, I think they were like, oh, I guess we do it anyways. Let's limit test this, and if we add more and more engage options, maybe one of them will get through because Poppy can't block everything. The Rock is a little bit, weak in the bottom lane here. If the Scissors are trying to cut through, maybe it can cut through. It's up to the Kalista.
We'll see how it goes here. Either way, game number 1 is ready to go. Let's hop onto the Rift. Just a bunch of lurkers on the Rift.
Hope they have detection.
Well, that's going to be Lucid. Hello. Pyoshik's coming over here, but there's 3 members of DK in the face of Pyoshik, who's like, well, I guess I'm going to blue buff.
Well, this will allow at least Deft and Barrel to hard push bottom and crash this wave in, so it's not without sacrifice here, as this is great for Lucid, but not so great for aiming. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it's not going to be horrible, but it is not great.
Here they come onto the red buff as well.
Yeah,
Lucid pretty slow on this one. And he's level 2. There's 4 people on the side of KT that are coming in here. He is going to smite it, but he knows he is in a really rough spot and will accept his defeat. Although, Buckler picked up, he's going towards the turrets. He is going to flash in between. He's actually trying to escape here. And you know what? I mean, oh no,
blast
cone! Not the blast cone, don't do it to me. Lucid's still on the run here. He does not have his W. And Pyoshik is going all the way around, but Lucid has fooled him, and now he's just going to start his blue. Are you kidding me?
He's going to get away with it now. A very expensive move here. He loses Flash, nearly loses his life, but the Flash is perfect. Meanwhile,
going in here. Level 2 was aiming. But yeah, Lucid's just going to start this one up. And I mean, Pyoshik might have just assumed he got into a brush somewhere and backed, but this is about to get really
this is crazy,
insane once again. And Pyoshik gonna see his blue buff going down. He's like, you really stayed. A bunch of question mark pings and another engage in the bottom lane. Kellen might be in a little bit of trouble.
He's at less than half his level 2. He might be in trouble as well.
Lucid has smite, and so Lucid holds on to his buff. Now,
Pyoshik is game over, man.
Pyoshik doesn't have a buff.
He doesn't have a buff. He's got squat, man. He's got no money. And this is disastrous. But there is a world where if Pyoshik does something a little bit differently, hold up.
Pyoshik, he is going to have some support, but he actually, first roam is coming over from Talia. Pyoshik, I think, might just be dead, but the W does come out early from Lucid, and the Dragon is going to push him away, so yeah, not able to deny that. But Pyoshik does have to flash to survive, and he's still down a level and like 5 camps at this point.
Yeah, Crab's going to go over to Lucid here as well. We'll clear up some vision.
And let's see how this one goes down. Jonas Strong keeping it.
See that pet?
Here we go. Here we go. Hex flash over the wall. BDD. The W comes down. Yeah, he's just going to flash away. And that is another summoner taken away from the members of KT by Lucid.
Bring as the tales we told of CL World.
We told a lot of tales, by the way. We got Impale. He is just in so much trouble. Casting is going to flash, though. And he does get away, but man.
Has been so fan. Okay,
no Lucid point, Wolf. No Lucid point. Barrel's dead. Okay, down he goes. First blood goes to Kellen. And Deft has to flash away as well. Barrel not having his flash. Okay. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, this is what we were talking about before the game started, as now he's going to knock the Sejuani into the wall. W comes down, and you know what? Pyoshik is just dead. He doesn't have his flash. And Lucid still has his. He gets away. BDD not able to punish in this 3v3. Barrel's still here. He's going to keep Kellen around as Deft is trying to help out, but at the end of the day, it's just a kill here, and now the wall's going to come down. Barrel has to flash away himself.
Finally, Deft is trying to do a thing in the bottom lane.
Deft doesn't have flash here, and Showmaker's already here. The root comes down onto Kellen, but I think he's still in a lot of trouble. Flash comes in, and Deft is just going to hold on to his cleanse. He knows he's 100% dead. That's another kill over to D plus Kia. That one going over to the Corki.
Perfectly, it would have been calculated as more action.
Lucid's here, and Impale is on point, and you're not getting out of this one. Casting, the knockup comes in, and with no flash available, the timing on the gank is perfect. And Skarner's so good at setting those up. Now, BDD and Pyoshik trying to trade it back.
He's got flash, though.
Yeah, and this is Skarner, and the ult is just going to sail wide. Pyoshik trying to get on in there onto Lucid, but it is stunned to come down actually underneath the turret, but Lucid barely going to go down with just the flail to get the job done.
From the red buff, And I mean, this is actually, they just took casting and tied him to the back of a train and dragged him across the tracks, man.
It's a lot of interactive gameplay there, say no. And yeah, they get over here in time to actually stop this turret from going down.
I feel like this is a bit poor, though, by KT in terms of what they could have done with the teleport and the advantage topside. Like, they still lose a majority of this turret and lose the dragon. Deft was going to get that turret no matter what. Barrel?
King just impaled the clone. The Barrel is in a lot of trouble, and he's just going to run away.
Look,
that's fine.
Now, BDD and Deft are with the Kalista power up here with the Yone. I mean, the two of them could do this pretty quickly, and Pyosik is rotating over with the Smite, so they will get away with this in turn, but we're a bit disappointed that the call for casting was to buy Leandri's and then just walk back bottom. So things have looked a lot better for KT in these last 5 minutes.
Barrel just out in the middle of nowhere trying to get some deep wards in. That's a free kill. Goes over to aiming.
Caster Curse.
Not sure what the idea that was there, but...
And we're not going to see a teleport from casting, it looks like, to...
Could also just go in here on a Deft. I mean, Deft is all alone here. He does have Flash and Cleanse, but yeah, they're just going to leave that one as the teleport does come in from BDD, and now trying to Showmaker, who is in a lot of trouble, but the rest of KT trying to close the distance and get in. They finally take out Showmaker, and now Kellen kind of left on his lonesome. Lucid the same, just gonna ult the Rumble away, but this is a great fight for KT. They turn it around with a TP and pick up 2 kills. Not able to do so just yet, although Kellen is gonna be rooted up here. He doesn't have the help of his team right now. He has to flash away. Very awkward spot for him to be standing, and he will be punished for it.
Showmaker did a lot of damage during that exchange, though, and aiming is also full health here, so KT need to play very respectful. Barrel still could look for an engage, and that's why D+ are spreading themselves out here. They don't absolutely need a hard force for this. They already have a 2 Drake lead. Gotta be so wary of the Nico engage. Kellen.
Oh, Barrel, he has to flash away from that one, and it might work out for him, though, but we got a lot of different angles coming in onto this fight. You see Kingen on the left as the knockaway of the jungler, and this fight comes in. Lucid once again gonna get the job done, and Deft has to flash away from the seismic shove, and the impale in the brush. They're not ready for that one, and now Pyosik is all by himself lonesome. They're so low on the backside of this fight. DK not gonna over chase, but man, they got a lot of value out of that fight.
Really nice trap set there by Kingen.
Yeah. Speaking of which, oops, we are knocked into the wall as trying to dive here. BDD's gonna go down. Casting surely gets this kill, right? Okay, he is gonna pick up the kill, but now TP coming in.
Showmaker has Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, Showmaker definitely gonna try to punish this one. The equalizer is pretty good. Seismic Shove is gonna get some damage in, but this is a Rumble making things pretty spicy, as now we got more action as Pyosik was going in there to try to save him. I don't even know, guys. Pyosik's just gonna go down. It's a double kill for aiming. And now 4 versus 2. They could look for the Baron. We have seen some very aggressive Baron calls.
It's so crazy. It's non-stop action. It's not calculated. It's all limit testing. It's constantly, you know, just basically stats checking, hands checking, non-stop. As you have this trade coming through, the Showmaker teleports over. Good play by Kingen to at least trade the kill back, but it is going to be Casting who ultimately gets caught here. Holds his own, but Showmaker has Seraphs.
Yeah, and BDD is their most fed member at this point. He's already taken some damage as Pyosik is just going to send it into Lucid, but Lucid is able to charge away from the follow-up as Barrel, only able to get the knock-up on the Poppy, immediately is going to be pulled back. Meanwhile, trying to turn now onto Kellen, who we said before is pretty much unkillable. A nice chunk of damage still done to him. As Kingen still looking for his angle. So many low health bars here between the two teams.
All right, Lucid trying to come over here and start up this dragon. A bit optimistic, though, as BDD coming back in, looking for an angle. The lineup.
Oh, he just dashed down to the rocks. Yikes. I mean, we talked about this, right? Like in a straight-up 5v5, it is difficult to make this work. Into this fight, and then knock back into the knock into the wall. And you just don't get to play the game, Pyosik. And with the jungler gone, that will be Ocean Soul to the side of DK. Casting, very nice dodge here, but the follow-up is coming in. Now they're trying to turn and fight this one 4v4. They know the Poppy is gone, but the rock to the face, and down will go the Yone. And King is looking for more, gets a couple of flashes with this impale, but the fight is not done. They're still going in. They're still looking for more blood. Have much going for them.
I mean, D+'s comp has so much engaged. KT's engage is ultimate reliant. You know, you need Barrel's ult, you need BDD's ult, Deft's ult potentially, right? Or Pyosik's ultimate, whereas D+ just have so much consistent engage, so you trade ults, and D+ is like, I'm still ready. You know, come at me. And now they're going to grab this inhibitor. BDD getting some value topside, but it is not equivalent.
Yeah, he's going to have to back now, as they are threatening here with the Baron buff. They still have a minute 30, and now a wall to come down to try to just open up these Nexus turrets. They might be able to get one, but it looks like they don't want to take the chance. Knockup comes in from BDD, but that is Skarner.
Tough to end with the equalizer still available here for casting. Just going to be able to clear this out if they tried to stay and you know, push the issue. There's other ways those ults are back up. No, he's not going to do it to you, Valdez.
I mean, he might. I don't know. Based on what I've seen in this game.
Nah, he's not. Look, just 2 more, buddy. Oh my, get through.
Yeah. Well, generally these games also go to like 50 minutes long, so.
I don't know, the game state right now is telling me this one's not. But yeah, we'll probably get one.
It probably shouldn't. I'll just say that. Yeah, they're being pushed out of here, and with, you know, I mentioned before, the flash in with the Impale! Where did he go? And now a massive counter engage comes in, but do they have the damage? It's a question. Down will go Showmaker, but that might just be it for the damage that goes into them. King is so tanky, Kellen's so tanky, aiming, still full health, still pushing into the base. And it was a fantastic counter engage, but not quite enough money to get the job done, especially without death.
Yeah, and now with no equalizer, I think D+ could just escort this next wave with the super minions here and look to start chipping away. 25 seconds on BDD, but he won't have his ultimate. Same to be said of Barrel when he respawns. I think this should be the beginning of the end.
Well, they're going to dive a Sejuani under Nexus turret, so it's looking just likely as down will go Pyosik. And down will go casting, and down should go these Nexus turrets. It was a very insanely scrappy game. Very much back and forth as Barrel desperate, Deft also desperate, but it will not happen. The Nexus goes down, and DK take game 1.
If you're going to hard force the, if you're going to hard force the Yone, and BDD's one of my favorite players, but you got to hit your abilities. He wasn't really doing that. His laning was fine, but I think this is a, like, just wipe the slate clean and just move to game 2. Forget about this draft, because this was a rough one. With lethality being the primary build already on the Kalista. I mean, and Leona as well, which you knew was coming.
Yeah.
So now you're playing lethality Jace, lethality Kalista into Skarner, Poppy, Leona.
Too. You know, they picked the Nico, they were still discussing it, and like 2 seconds later they bring out the Jace. Does it work for game 2? Let's find out. Let's hop onto the Rifts.
We wanted an AP, or rather AD mid.
Yeah. And
Jace, the one thing, okay, so we talked about Jace struggling to tank, so Jace can actually have a little bit of a better time in this lane. The range issue that Chronicler pointed out earlier in terms of what Talia can struggle with, Jace can get some advantages here, can get some prio, can keep Showmaker down so he can't make those high impact plays. So in terms of what he offers you in the lane, because we've been mostly talking about team fights and damage profiles and stuff like that, is quite strong. So there is that, and we'll see what he can make happen with this pick here in this early game, because BDD has been a fantastic Jace player in the past. He's already taken his bottom, and had he been just a moment earlier, might have been able to contest that top scuttle, but is unable to do so.
Something's going on
Portal
here.
combat?
Portal combat. Yeah, it doesn't last too long, as he's just going to get flashed on him. Perfect. He has aggro on the turret. The flash comes in from Lucid, and that's just first blood. Perfect goes down. And you know what? Sometimes you just get Skarnered.
Yep.
To put on more aggro.
이러면 그냥 끝인 듯? 야, 볼게.
He's like, I'm looking for it. Flash comes out, and then the charge here, the buckler damage is enough.
Just identifying the situation, taking advantage of Perfect. As here comes BDD, the equalizer comes down from the top side. Knockback here on a BDD who is getting pretty low. Lucid, though, is getting burnt quite a bit by Perfect.
We are seeing Skarner have to itemize magic resistance because he's laning against a Rumble, so it is going to be a while before he ends up...
Well, he is going to scan it, but the knockup comes in into the follow-up from the Talia, and BDD has no chance. And we do have Pyosik nearby, though, so potential for some shenanigans up on the top side. Impale is available. Kellen is also making his way up to the top side, as is Showmaker and Lucid.
I mean, Showmaker has Weaver's Wall. I think KT should think twice about heavily committing here.
And they do. Just back out of this one for now. Lucid's still in a kind of an awkward spot, but he has Kellen nearby, and he is Poppy, so of potential gank, and Deft is just in no man's land, but there's nobody to follow up on Lucid. The double knockdown comes in, and now Lucid in a lot of trouble. He's going to burn down Beryl, just going to get fates called, and Kellen has to go forward, but to his demise, BDD as well, getting some damage, and they're going to take out Showmaker, and it's 3 kills to the side of KT and a Rift Herald. As here we go again, trying to look for a play on a Beryl as he will go into clone mode, and he is burning down, but Kellen is going to be the support that goes down, as eventually, so will Beryl. So I suppose worth for DK at the end of the day. Deft and Pioshik taking a big chunk of damage themselves, but with this Rift Herald pressure, and aiming also low actually, taking a look at him, they might still feel okay.
Yeah, and some of those ults coming back online, perfect ult, Pioshik's ult. Beryl has his, but he isn't here as he did burn down.
But now Impale is down, as is the Skarner Flash. KT trying to set up here on this one. King now in an awkward spot, but he is baiting out a lot of CC, but they have oodles and boodles of it as King is going to go down. And now the rest of the fight does begin. The equalizer is massive onto Showmaker and Kellen. They burned for so long. He's now in the bush. Lucid just going to try to get on the run, and he is going to be forced to Keeper's Verdict, but even the Blast Cone not going to save you here, buddy. Down he will go. You know, KT in still pretty good control of this game.
Blast Cones, by the way, on Chemtech Rift, pretty fantastic for KT's position. Uh-oh, indeed.
Yeah, the TP's going to come in here, and the Impale, it just keeps you locked down for way too long, although that equalizer is burning down Showmaker. It's still going to be a kill over to the side of D plus Kia. Yeah, you see that Pioshik does take some damage. It's not very early, but it's still, we're not even past the 30-minute mark right now. It's 25 minutes in, and with the entirety of DK there, as you mentioned before, Wolf, I think that's a bit risky to try to go for that Baron take. King, and he's still here by himself in mid, and again he's going to be isolated as the Impale does come in, and he is very difficult to kill. But eventually he will go down, as Pioshik does take a bunch of damage in the trade, but they have been very consistently just identifying that they can kill King.
Yeah, tries to click on them. He doesn't do as much.
Leave that to Leon. Here we go again. I mean, how many times is this going to happen? He is going to flash away, and the Weaver's Wall does come down. Deft barely going to miss. Get dodge on that one, but the equalizer once again is pretty good. The Impale on a Pioshik as the tanks are just being bullied in this game.
And the equalizer got a ton of value there, not onto the not onto the carries, but onto the front line as well. Clean.
Root onto Showmaker. And we're getting scrappy again.
A little bit tougher. How many of these shock blasts can BDD hit?
Look at Kellen. I don't think they have any idea.
Deft's about to find out.
Yeah, they know. They even have a ward over the wall as well. They might have spotted him.
Showmaker gonna back. He has teleport here, but he's so low. He just needs to TP back in if they're gonna contest this. Is aiming.
This is such a weird spot. I mean, now it's Pioshik and BDD coming over here
and
together.
Perfect. Soloing this.
Chemtech Soul. He did it.
Plus scrap shields.
Yeah.
I mean, the extra damage is going to be significant in these, wonky fights. I mean, it's tough here for the teleport for King, and teleport flanks not really available here at all. He's actually walking up.
Half health, Lucid's already here. Are they going to continue on this one? Lucid does have the ult to come through, but the Sedge ult catches him, and Jace is going to secure it as Beryl nearly goes down, but it does not matter. They have a perfect angle, and down will go 2 of the members already, the bottom laners of DK. The Baron goes the way of KT. Down will go Lucid and Showmaker, and KT, they might have just won the game right there.
I mean, what was Kingen doing that whole time? He just took a joyride between 2 turrets. He was just driving through. He didn't come to the fight at all. They needed him there. They needed a front line. They needed some defensive options. And even though he couldn't have gone for a flank teleport, he could have just teleported onto his team and helped peel for them there, but he just didn't show up. And now he's the last man standing, looking for an Impale here. I think it's too little too late.
He's not even going to get the kill on a Pioshik. I mean, Kellen, he's still getting in there. He's still fighting, but with 5 members alive, they will be able to take down the Nexus, and we will have our Game 3.
I said it earlier, I was like, he likes to play the champ, but does the lane really well and does the flanking.
Kindred!
Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, that's a Pioshik special. We got the Kingen special here. It feels like an exhibition match. Lucid has his best champ, BDD, playing the Veigar he's famed for. And it's all coming full circle. Deft Varus here. The knowledge to lock down this Zeri. There's a lot of CC on both sides. There's a lot of zoning for KT.
I think it's great into what they have. Extreme hard engage. That ult's going to be great, but let's see how it goes. Game 3 starts now.
But I look at the setups here for KT, and I think, wow, there's a lot of really awesome potential options here for how this game goes so well for them in mid-game skirmishes. And even early game skirmishes can be incredibly strong for them. And then you have the late game, I press R, champion dies for BDD.
Oh,
great hook.
The hooks have been good from Beryl. He's just had a fantastic time on this champ in general. Pioshik is over here. He's going to spot a Vi, or where he should be. Maybe we'll take the wolves away. Things
just so well positioned.
Yeah, Lucid and Showmaker is getting in there, as they do want to take the scuttle. As now trying to get on top of Death, but that knockup's not going to come through as Beryl just flashed away. Meanwhile, BDD and Pioshik, they want to fight this one. But at the end of the day, it's essentially just a 4v4. The Event Horizon comes down, and Pioshik's going to run straight for the marked Scuttle Crab, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially with the lack of control they have now here with no Event Horizon. Deft.
He wants it. He's feeling the energy. 4 members on the Drake, but 4 members of DK also trying to get in here, but they want to turn onto Kellen. And where are you going to go? You're trapped in the cage, and immediately he goes down, just executed, like you said. Nice foreshadowing there from Wolf, as immediately Kellen just doesn't exist anymore. And they don't get the Drake, but they get first blood.
To make this attempted roam happen topside, though, I don't think they're going to feel too happy about that, even though they did get the flash.
See Deft and Beryl, they're trying to clear this wave, but they're not quite able to. The damage is a bit delayed on a Deft. They will get this kill, though, and the dive is going horribly wrong, as 2 kills go the way of KT. Now, they do take out Deft, and aiming will still alive, so he'll get some value there, but not quite the cleanest dive I've ever seen, Wolf.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. BDD definitely feeling a lot better than he did after that game 1 loss, where he looked like he was having a rough time. He's definitely changed the atmosphere now, got that first blood. They get the 2 kills bottom side, and BDD has to keep track of this. And Perfect says, like, I mean, my Veigar's got TP. You could try it if you want.
We'll see how it goes. 3 people coming on in, no teleport, and Perfect is just left out to dry as they're using quite a lot. Oh, the flash on in, and Perfect is going to turn it around. Picks up a kill for himself, 1v3. And really, your time to go in is when Event Horizon is down. And I think DK, they have identified this, but really nice Chain of Corruption does come down. Beryl also going to maintain that front line here, and now trying to go for the follow-up engage, and Kellen is just so dead, but now Beryl taking a ton of damage, and DK, look at turn this around, but again, the Lancers fight pretty good, but Pioshik left out to dry, and BDD and Deft not quite able to step up to them as aiming, and Kingen so good, getting a bunch of resets, and ending that fight in their favor. You can throw down an Event Horizon, but that's got a cooldown. You can throw down a Lamps or Spite. That's got a very large cooldown, and this area is just going to be skating around the map and can delay and can wait for her next opportunity to go in. You can only delay for so long, and I think KT, if you get very far behind, yes, you can throw all those things down, but then eventually DK just swing the hammer and kill you. So
to this dragon,
another ward comes down. They see it's started up here, but the damage you mentioned is huge, and Beryl just walking up the Event Horizon. There's no way for the Vi to get in. You just cannot access the pit. And so the first Drake goes the way of KT with no bloodshed at all. You can see they don't really have the vision. Oh, the hook around the corner, and the Chain of Corruption will come down, as well as the R from the Nautilus, and Showmaker in so much trouble, but the counter engage comes in. The Lancer Spite is massive to keep them all alive, but Kingen is running at them. He is alone, but here comes Lucid now into that back line, takes down Deft, and you see it's Kingen against the world, whereas Perfect is going against the world as well. Kingen and Lucid still on the chase here. So many low health bars. BDD still alive. Perfect still in the 1v2. Lucid gonna pick up the double. BDD still alive.
The flash missed Q though, and Kingen's gonna get out here, and Perfect, I don't know if he's on for this world. Oh!
Nice try, but yeah. Oh, the damage on a Kellen. He is just so incredibly tanky. Can they actually kill him is the question. Need the Vi Q to come back up, and there it is. They should have enough from here, and that is the one from aiming to finally take down Perfect. So now Pioshik just going to start this one up alone, and they're missing 2 players at this point in time. The wall will come down, and it will actually push KT off of this objective.
Yeah, it's going to reset, as BDD does not have flash, wants an Event Horizon on to aiming so badly. but he's just spaced so incredibly well on this Zeri. Event Horizon just zoning the front line here. Beryl looking for an angle here. Can he get into range to ult? Aiming, he's trying.
Oh yeah, he would love to. But he is going to play that front line and skip vision. Do they know about this guy on the left side, the Vi? They get onto the back line, and now the ult comes in. Kellen does go down, but Lucian's in that back line. The Lancer Spite is going to keep them all alive, but the health bars are so low, and Showmaker is just running them down alongside of Aiming, who, on the Zeri, alongside of this Aatrox, will eventually nearly totally wipe them. The triple kill comes through, 5,000 damage for Aiming. And that was the engage that DK was looking for. Yeah, it's just not quite enough. The delay is not enough for KT. I mean, Veigar is not strong enough.
No, really not. I mean, they're sitting at 30 minutes in nearly, and he doesn't have his death cap. He's very far from it.
There's a little bit of an engage here as they're trying to get on up. Pyosik and BDD is in a really rough spot. Knocked up forever. The Lancer Spite and triple impale. Will it matter, though? I think the answer is no. Pyosik, though, with a couple of kills, though, making it interesting. BDD also picks up one. But at the end of the day, Kingen and Aiming are still alive, and they're still fighting here with pretty healthy health bars. Perfect is so incredibly tanky. Can they take him out is the question. He's flashing onto Aiming, and he takes him down! Perfect with a huge kill! Gets the shutdown of 1,000 gold, but eventually does go down himself. Aiming is at right now. Def down towards the bottom, actually, as Kingen is alone, but so is Beryl, and that hook is not going to hit the wall. Beryl just dead. Not going to be saved by the Event Horizon, and that might just be Baron.
Yeah, I mean, we were all in Beryl's world until now. Beryl is the only one in Beryl's world, and I don't think he should be there right now. It's game 3. It's the series decider, and another intense.
Oh, here we go. Lancer Spite is going to be cast, but he's alone, and everybody else is running away. So Pyosik will be taken out. Lots of damage coming in now. They want to end this right here, right now. BDD is in the Zhonya's against so many people, and he will eventually be taken out by Aiming. Of all people, gonna stack that bounty even larger as they will now go for the Baron. As maybe they're just gonna dive instead. I mean, they are looking for BDD, and that is the ult to come in, but no follow-up as finally the Rakan goes in, and down will go BDD. Beryl as well underneath the turrets, and that's a couple of more kills for the Zeri. Is this just gonna be another Penta? That's a triple already for the side of Aiming, and you can see that KT do not want to give that one over.
Yeah, I think he's going to be hard-pressed to kill for a full-health Skarner, but, you know?
Maybe it was just a double. I'm not sure.
I think it was a triple.
I thought it was a triple, but I saw double come up, so I'm not 100%. Either way, this is great for DK. They're pushing in, and they might finally end the chaos that is DK versus KT every single time. That's perfect now. There's only so much tanking that Scorpion can do. And down he will go. Down will go the Nexus turrets, and D plus Kia will be your winners tonight in the 2-1 victory over KT. That is the final team fight of the night, and Aiming.
Thank you very much. This is Dear for the POG interview translation, joined by Lucid on the side of D plus Kia, who just claimed the second consecutive win against KT Rolster in a 3-game series. Congratulations! This is the first solo POG of the summer. How do you feel? I actually thought that Aiming would get the POG in Game 3, but I'm really happy. It makes me feel really good. So it was a matchup of two teams who went neck and neck all spring, and it was an intense match today taken to Game 3 as well. So what do you think makes the game so close against KT? I feel like KT has a lot of players that are veterans, and because of how skilled they are, it always takes us to a 3-game series. And this summer, you are the first to pick Poppy, and with an amazing performance, you've received your POG. So what do you think the Poppy's strength is for the current meta? I feel like the way that Poppy can take a lot of advantage early, and the way you can actually gank really well with her are the two main strengths. So let's take a look at the replay where we witnessed a bold pathing by you. And even while getting chased by Sejuani, you refused to recall.
우리 칼부 먹으러 가겠구나 생각하고 블루
So
먹을 수 있겠다 생각해서
right here,
블루까지
I knew
먹었어요.
that
저도 이 장면을
Sejuani
보면서
was
정말
there because of the
감탄을
vision
금치
thanks
못했는데
to
엄청난
BDD.
장면을 만들어내신 것 같습니다.
But I knew that I was going to be able to survive thanks to the vision that we had mainly, and that I had some
3세트는 블루
backup.
선픽으로 바이를 선택한 루시드
And in
선수입니다.
game
플레이를
3,
보니까 바이에
you
대한
picked
이해도가
Vi as your
굉장히
B1
높으신 것
pick.
같던데요.
And just
바이에
from
대한
the way you
자신감,
play, it
어떻게
shows us that you have
보시는지,
a
진입각을
very
어떻게
good understanding of
보시는지
Vi like no
궁금합니다.
other.
일단 지금
So,
자신감은
how
되게
confident
많이
are you
차이나는
with Vi, and
상태고
how do you catch these
진입각은
engaged angles?
저희 팀 형들 포지션에
I feel like I'm pretty
따라서
confident with her.
진입하는 것 같습니다.
역시 바이에 대한
And
자신감.
the engaged angles is really
남달랐네요.
based on
그리고 또
the
상대
positioning of
선수의
my
시그니처
teammates.
픽인 킨드레드가 이번 세트에 등장을 했는데 어떤 생각이 드셨는지
And
궁금해요.
Pyoshik's signature
솔직히
pick,
조금
Kindred, made an
당황하긴
appearance. So
했습니다.
what was on your
왜냐면은
mind?
되게 잘하시는
Yeah,
챔피언이고
it actually
그리고
made me.
초반에 조금
I felt
말리긴
a little
했거든요.
flustered.
최대한 대처를 잘
We definitely didn't
하려고 했는데
expect that,
근데
and I felt like we got
어떻게든
outplayed
운
in the
좋아서
early
이기는
game.
것 같습니다.
너무
But I feel like in the
겸손하신데요.
end we were the
오늘
lucky
정말
ones and we were
멋진
able
승리를
to
보여준
win.
디플러스 기아였습니다. 개막전부터
So
심상치
what an
않았던 루시드
amazing
선수의
win by D
경기력입니다.
plus Kia.
스프링에서
Your
경험치를
performance
먹고
really
엄청나게
stood out
성장한 모습을
since
보이고
the opening day, and
계시는데
after all the
스스로는 또
experience
어떻게
you
평가하고
gained from
계실지
spring, you seem
궁금합니다.
to have
일단
grown
자신감도 많이
immensely. So
올라온 상태고
how would you
이
rate
세트
yourself?
같은 경우는 뭔가 제가
I
던져서
feel like
졌다고 생각해가지고
I've gotten
부분
and grown to
잘
be a lot
고치고
more confident.
형들이랑
And I
코치
feel like,
감독님들한테
especially in
잘
game
배워서
2,
다음에는 그런
there are a
실수 안
lot of
나오고
mistakes that I
잘해보도록
was able to
하겠습니다.
get from the feedback, and just from the guidance that I get from my coaching staff and the older teammates that I have, I feel like I'm able to grow.
축하의 한마디 해주시죠.
Now, along with today's victory, there's another good news. Showmaker has reached 3,000 all-time LCK assists.
좋겠다는 말씀 해주셨습니다.
I hope
이렇게
that
해서
we can
이연승으로 첫
stay as
주차를
teammates and
마무리하게
work
됐는데요.
together for a
다음
very long
상대는
time.
T1입니다.
Congratulations,
삼연승
Showmaker.
자신 있으신지 각오 한마디 부탁드리겠습니다.
Now, with your next opponent being T1, how certain are you for your third
나오기
consecutive
전에는
win?
일정 나왔을 때 되게
like even,
힘들겠다 생각했거든요. 강팀이
before
3연전이어가지고
The schedule came
네,
out.
앞에 두 팀 이기고 이제 T1
Actually, when I
남았는데
saw the schedule, I knew that we were going back and back to back to back against strong teams, and I was very worried. But now that we're starting off strong, I feel like we are able to win. We'll make sure that we have a good result.
감사합니다.
And that's the end of the interview with Lucid of D plus Kia, and back to the space. Thank you.